Hello? Hello, who's this? No, bro, I don't want your scam bullshit. Okay, don't call her anymore. Seniors care? I'm
Was that a
insulted.
real
That
was
was
that a real
real. I
phone
should have
call?
put it on. Should have put it on speaker.
So I have to apologize for sounding like a 60-year-old chain smoker. But this is what you're gonna get. All right.
Marie
I just
plays it all.
yeah, just like that. From movies to video games, welcome to Marie Plays It All. Today's episode is Relatively Geeking, where my brother Rob and I geek out about the good times and sometimes not good times. I know. I feel like I need something right now.
He smoke his coffee.
I don't know. I kind of like it. I kind of feel like it's like velvet
Raspy.
or something. Yeah, raspy. I kind of like it. So, Rob, we recorded an episode about the video game Starfield and how we felt about it. And that episode, did pretty well. We got some comments. It was mostly good comment, not good, but mostly comments that agreed with us. And then some comments that did not agree with us. But that's why we do it, folks. We want everyone's opinion and we love it.
The intelligent comments agreed with us. I mean, I think that was pretty clear. I got some phone calls. Some people were mad. The Star Freaks were out in force. I had to like change my address. I moved across the country because boy, the Star fanatics were after me.
It's true. I actually did play the whole game through, but I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to have to move cross country as well. So I just lied and said, "Oh, I didn't finish it yet. I have no opinion."
Yeah,
Rah,
yeah. Yeah.
rah.
Unfortunately, I did finish it. I won't get that time back. I had some fun. Like, I'll be honest. Like I said last video, I enjoyed my time despite it being a bad game. But
Yeah.
there's a like a life expectancy. There's like a timestamp where the game dies. It's not this, Skyrim that you will be playing in a palliative care hospital. You will play it play it for a while and then get bored and then forget it.
Yeah, that's what happened to me. I didn't continue. I just had no desire to continue playing. And I know what I just started playing again over? Fallout 4. I started playing it last week. And you know what? I'm playing this game and I'm like, these NPCs and characters look like miles better than the NPCs and characters in Starfield. How? I don't know. I'm squeaking about it. I'm getting too worked up. I'm getting squeaky.
Do they in your opinion seem more human?
Oh yeah, it's like I there's Fallout 4 isn't my favorite Fallout out of the series, but yeah, I'm like immersed into it. I think about it during the day. I'm like, God, I want to get my Fallout in. I care about some of the characters. I feel attached. The storylines for some of them are so rich. Like I just feel like really immersed in this game. And I'm like, look all these places I can discover, and I need to go there. And the lore is all over the place. And it's just, oh man, it feels like home, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, well, there's been a rash of articles that came out yesterday and today, like IGN, Kotaku, Forbes, pointing out that Starfield is hemorrhaging players. It's losing a lot of players, every couple weeks, and that Bethesda has been going on Steam responding to harsh criticisms. The game went from positive reviews on Steam to mixed around 69%. So what we want to do today is look at the arguments as to why it's hemorrhaging, maybe responses that say it's not that bad, and also some of the responses people have posted on Steam in some of the articles that we read. And I've looked at some of them myself on Steam, and they picked I think the best ones. There's some real gems in there, some real copium. So I thought we'd look at one of the first articles that I found on hemorrhaging.
Yes, and I haven't seen any of these articles yet. So it's my first time reacting to these articles. Right.
Yep, here we go. This was published 7 hours ago. Kotaku, why is Starfield hemorrhaging active players? Bethesda's spacefaring RPG seems to be falling short of its galactic expectations. Thanks, Claire. Your article is good. I looked at this one and I really enjoyed it, and I think you will too. I that's that picture. All right. In the weeks following the launch of Skyrim, developer Bethesda's highly anticipated RPG Starfield, the game has caught a bit of attention for its plummeting player numbers on Steam. Its ranking from user reviews has also dropped on Valve's digital storefront, falling from positive into the pale orange of mixed. Why is one of the biggest RPGs of the last few years seemingly falling out of favor with players so soon? Starfield arrived with beyond sky high expectations and was designed to fuel countless hours of gameplay. Speaking to Insomniac Games, Ted Price, as part of the Game Maker's Notebook series of podcasts, Starfield creative director Tom Howard said, okay, blah, 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 we know this. Howard said something that really, I think, clinches it for me. That the game's irresponsible size was chosen to provide an experience that's intentionally made to be played for a long time. And that must be remembered. This game was designed to be as long as Skyrim in terms of how many hours you sink your pathetic life into it. I do that too, okay? Like, chill. So the game is meant to be, Skyrim in space in terms of its popularity and its longevity. Right. That's the intention. And I think that's a criteria by which we should evaluate the game. It's Todd's own criteria. But within a few short months, the hopes that accompanied the game's launch had rapidly faded. The mega hyped RPG is reaching the end of 2023 without a Game of the Year nomination at one of the industry's most high-profile events, and is falling behind the player counts of other single-player AAA RPGs, with apt and vocal criticism of its shortcomings. For a game that was expected to achieve such heights, it's not great.
Not great. It's not great.
Yeah, I think there's like 33 categories for the Game Awards, and I think Starfield's on like 1 or 2.
Okay.
I think it's category 34, boringest game of the year and biggest letdown. Okay, let's look at the context of its draining player count. Starfield's active player count, at least the ones we have access to via Steam, and that's important, which, to be fair, only paint one side of the story, given that the game's also on Xbox and on PC via Game Pass. So rough at first glance. Okay, Steam charts. Starfield saw a 66.6, we'll leave it there, % decrease in players a month after its release. 2 months in, it saw what was left of its active player base halved. Here's how that compares with other games of similar scope and ambition.
Wow, that's a huge decrease.
Yeah, totally. Let me put up the stats. All right, here's Steam charts. 16,795 playing an hour ago. And that used to be, I remember that at 20, 25,000 and then 50,000. And then it went up and up and up. You could see the past 3 months, which it's not quite 3 months yet, I believe. Okay, see, look at that. Well, that's bad too. Yeah, November, look at that. Now we're way down over here. That's bad. Let's look past, the past 7 days. Let's check out. Oh, there you go. Oof.
Ooh, wow. Oh my God, 145,000 down to 21,000. And it hasn't even been out for that long. So if it's as long as Skyrim, you can play it for hours and hours. There should be still that many people playing.
Okay, let's check out Skyrim. How's that been going for the past
Let's check it out. Skyrim, how old is Skyrim? 2013, 2000?
Yeah, like around, I can't remember. It's long ago, like 2013. Okay, yeah. The blue line is Skyrim.
Wow. More than Starfield.
By like 5,000.
Consistently higher than Starfield.
In the past week, look at that.
Whoa.
Okay, let's look at Baldur's Gate. Game of the year, baby. Boom.
Wow. Yeah, that's more close to what it should be. That's where it should be. And that one's been out longer than Starfield as well, right? Baldur's Gate 3 came out August 3rd. Starfield release date was September 6th. So it's not that much longer, like older, but still.
Still.
The fact that Skyrim's so high and it's so much older. Well, it's not so high, but it's higher. It's crazy.
Check out
Cyberpunk, well, yeah, that,
Cyberpunk. Now, yeah, they have a new DLC, and that should be taken into account.
yeah,
And there's Cyberpunk,
yeah.
around 40,000.
Wow.
Starfield's down there.
Ooh, ain't looking good.
Now, what's going on? I personally spent well over 160 hours in Starfield. I don't regret it, but I had to make my own fun, as I discussed in my review of the game. Okay, this is a funny situation where when you're playing a boring game, you kind of have to use your imagination and role play a little bit. It's like, I'm a crafter. I'm gonna make some beams, and kind of imagine you're this space trader, do all sorts of things. I'm a space cowboy. Maybe I'm a smuggler with a heart of gold. So like when I'm smuggling body parts that I found in some copy pasted factory like all over the universe, I'm like selling it and I'm like, do I really do this? And I feel kind of emotionally conflicted. So it's basically playing like make believe when you were like 8 years old while
Yeah,
looking at a screen.
yeah. Which like the video game should sort of be doing it for you, like aiding you through it and holding your hand through it, not you
Yeah,
being like, well, there's nothing to do and I'm pretty bored. Let's go get a bunch of potatoes and put them in a room. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it should be integrated more.
it was in a room.
I
Um,
thought there was a thing where people got all these potatoes.
yeah, all the potatoes in the room. Yeah, I also just have a thing for anything remotely science fiction and also lovely spacey ambient vibes. So stick me on a barren planet with distant mountainscapes and orbiting planets, and I'm happy. Others agree. But after the pretty vistas have lost their luster, it's common to see complaints follow. As mentioned earlier, a steady stream of negative Steam user reviews have pulled it down into mixed status on the platform. Those reviews haven't gone unnoticed either. Bethesda, surprisingly, is currently spending time responding to negative Steam reviews in attempts to offer counterpoints, something very uncommon for a studio in a game of this stature. Negative Steam reviews, though, aren't outliers. Fun in a video game is definitely subjective, but discussion of Starfield on the internet often seems to orbit around the same points concerning just how limiting, repetitive, and frustrating the game can be.
It doesn't just work.
Okay, here's some Reddit posts. Starfield seems to be the king of having an array of options, but never the one you want to pick, reads one comment
Ooh.
on a Reddit post, highlighting how an otherwise decent side quest just boils down to two barely half decent outcomes, with the one you get hinging on a dialogue option. This is true. I saw a video on YouTube where a YouTuber went through all the possible dialogue options and its various permutations in a specific situation, and it all led to the same conclusion.
Oh,
And it's long, and it's the bad writing. You get basically, it's like, oh, if you pick this option, there might be one star freak at the end, Starborn you kill, like something like that, or like a bounty hunter, or you get to skip part of the quest or get extra credits. But it's a
okay.
ruse, it's a phantom. In general, Starfield's fictional world is just tied up in head-scratching oddities, such as this quest offering a mere 2,600 credits to undertake an assault on the galaxy's most notorious pirates, while the cheapest ship in the game costs more than 100,000 credits. Or how vendors in a game where you're expected to gather and sell many items have frustratingly small bankrolls. I mean, that's true. It's a small point that can be fixed easily. I don't know why you can't fix these things 2 days after the game comes out.
That sounds too much like real life, you know? Can't
Yeah,
afford
money
nothing.
problems. Starfield also feels truly large and immersive. Your actions feel like they're happening not on a grand cosmos, but in a tiny box. As
Yeah.
one comment on a Reddit post put it, you commit a crime across the galaxy, yet the whole galaxy knows already. Okay, this is true. I accidentally took a whiskey or like a playing card off a table once, and then I get shot to death, and everyone in the universe knows me, and I get kicked out of the Vanguard. You accidentally take it too because the game's so cluttered with useless garbage. It's like, oh, I stole some duct tape. Like, can I borrow your masking tape, sir? It's like red alert, galactic alarm goes off. all the factions just put their down. They just put their stuff down and they're like, go after this guy. He's the card thief. It's ridiculous. What's a man got to do to get some masking tape? Why are the robots in this game more engaging to talk to than my own crewmates? Genuinely, they're funnier and have more personality. Every character in my head is that guy from that room, that one guy, the dude with the face that doesn't move. I remember no one's names unless they're completely insufferable, forced onto my ship, or glitched hilariously, or game breakingly. I mean, I think it's a little bit far, but the characters aren't really that interesting in total. All right. It's my favorite. We'll go to Cope Tassie's Forbes article that came out I believe yesterday. Yes. Now Cope's responding to, in effect, the arguments of the previous article on Starfield's plummeting player count 80 days after launch. It's plummeting. Is it really plummeting? She says. I love when Cope says this. It's me, the internet's #1 Starfield defender, here to say your recent take on the game's demise has missed the mark. I'm referring to Gaming Bolt's declaration that Starfield is in trouble after player numbers plummet. In trouble? While this specific article became a meme, it is also a frequent PlayStation diehard argument I've heard over the past month or two, and I really do think Starfield is doing a lot better than people think. Even if we're referring to player numbers rather than, say, Game Awards nominations, which honestly, even if I'm a fan, I can't say I'm shocked. Look at these points here, Marie. It is also a frequent PlayStation diehard argument. Who cares? I mean, you can be a diehard PlayStation player and still have a valid argument.
Yes.
Like
that's discriminatory against PlayStation players.
Sure, it's called an ad hominem argument where you attack the person rather than critique their argument fairly.
Of course.
And not only that, the article begins by saying they're biased towards Starfield.
Yeah.
Starfield Defender. Okay, so if your bias or position is bad, then why should we listen to you? Because you just told us that you're the defender of Starfield. So I shouldn't trust you if I can't trust someone who is a PlayStation fan or PlayStation diehard enjoyer. So those already, man, thin ice. You're on thin ice. The counter argument, of course, is that Starfield is not a live service game that needs to maintain some persistent level of players over time. But even past that, I maintain it's done quite well, especially on Xbox, where it has remained in the top 10 most played games since launch. Even now, just after over 80 days since release, it's still 10, ahead of staples like Rocket League, Overwatch, and GTA Online. Okay, so the game needs to maintain some it doesn't need to maintain some persistent level of players over time. It does need to maintain persistent level of players over time to be successful. It's like saying, a game doesn't need to have players.
Well, and it claimed that you were going to be able to consistently play it over time.
Exactly, like we just saw with what Toddy Boy said. Now look, this top 10 ahead of staples like Rocket League, Overwatch, and GTA. I'll be honest, I'm not sure how to get those stats, but I think they may be referring to this. See Starfield's number 10?
Yeah.
Now, this top 10 list makes me ashamed to be an Xbox player. Fortnite, Call of Duty, Roblox, Grand Theft Auto, Tom Clancy, Minecraft, NBA 2K24, Apex, Madden, and Starfield. Okay, first-person shooters and sports games.
And kids games.
And kids games. This reeks of America. Immature dudes who like guns and sports ball. Like, I'm talking, like, look at that. It doesn't matter that it's 10th. Also, think about it. I don't know what that means. It could be like, hypothetically, 9th has 150,000 players and 10th has 10,000. It doesn't necessarily mean it goes in proportional increments. There could be way wild jumps all over the place. So just because it's 10th, I'd like to see the numbers. And this is something we have to remember, of course. There can be PC Game Pass, playing the game on Steam, and also it's on Xbox. So The numbers are greater than, they seem, but the Steam numbers aren't good. And so like this is clearly not the intention of Todd, and just because it's not a online service game doesn't mean it's not that big of a deal that there isn't persistent level of players. I love that. Yes, the Steam numbers are down, but it's never considered that this is also a PC game. Okay, like what we just said. Okay, and there's some people getting it for free and leeching. Let's look at what you're leeching. How dare you leech? Just the language there is so defensive.
Yeah. It doesn't matter how they're getting it. That doesn't matter.
Yeah. In the way yes, Steam numbers are down, but silly goose, you should also remember this thing you've forgotten. No, we didn't forget that. You don't need to italicize. Also, like this is defensive cope right here. Like, come on, give me a break. And there they show it, right? Oh, what we showed. Oh, what do they say about this? As for other comparison points, Skyrim has just passed it on Steam, like we showed, but this is Skyrim, considered one of the greatest RPGs in history with the world's most expansive modding scene. You see where that's going? It's saying Skyrim's a better game and people have made it better that aren't Bethesda. Like it's irrelevant how good Skyrim. It's like, okay, so all this is saying is Skyrim is really good and Starfield isn't.
Yeah. And what we were told and promised was that it would be like Skyrim, and people will love it like Skyrim, and it would resemble it, but like in a sense, and it don't.
It don't.
That's where the numbers, it don't.
Oh, I love the cope is just the cope is strong with this one. Then we have Red Dead Redemption 2 putting up huge numbers, double Starfields at least. But that's a result of a big sale on PC over Black Friday weekend. And again, this is one of the most heralded single player games ever. Right. So people bought it and wanted to play it. Yes, it was on sale. But people with their hard-earned cash could have picked a multiplicity of games and been incentivized to buy a cheaper game that's really good. But it's because it's a really good game. So people are buying a game on sale because it's a good game and it's heralded as like an amazing single-player game, and Starfield's not.
What we wanted was in years for us to have a game, Starfield, where we can go back on a Black Friday and be like, oh my God, yes, let's get it. It's on sale now. Let's play it. We want to go back because it's the best game ever. We want to go back because of the expansive modding scene. Sure, whatever. We want to be able to treat Starfield the way people are treating Red Dead Redemption 2 and Skyrim, but that's not going to happen because it's forgettable. It's forgettable and it feels empty.
Wait, what are we talking about again?
I don't know. Why are we here? What's this episode about?
Yeah, I don't even remember.
Neither do I.
It's about trolling. Let's see. Starfield has essentially done absolutely zero post-launch support as of yet. So there has been no reason for its player count to jump for any reason. Okay. But not to have dropped so much. The biggest update we've gotten is one that puts in DLSS support and the ability to eat sandwiches off tables.
Hey, that was my sandwich.
Because you want to automatically eat food when you encounter it to increase your hit points. You don't want to put it in your inventory, search your inventory, and then eat it.
Right.
That takes too long. So what people want is the ability to automatically eat things they see in the world. And it took them like 6 weeks to add a button feature. And mods fix all this stuff within days. Like some dude in his basement, who learned how to program on his own. Right? Don't worry, man. Support basement dwellers. I'm cool with that. You guys, we're tight. Like we're good. It's no hate. Live the life you want to live. It's amazing skill. But anyway,
They're for the people. They're for the people.
They're for the people. This stuff is free. Most modders anyway. Not exactly a reason to go racing back. Oh, you're admitting it. I really loved the game and put 160 hours into it. That's called Stockholm syndrome, or like trying to reaffirm they liked it. Here's something bad. They did something stupid, but I really love the game. And it's like looking into a mirror and go like, but I really did love the game. 160 hours of fun.
Read that next sentence because I have stuff to say about that next sentence.
You read it and you tell me, man. It's up to you.
Okay, if people can hear me. But I haven't played it in 2 months because, of course, you will run out of stuff to do eventually in its current state. So it's not a good enough game to be released as it was. Its naked, natural state wasn't good enough. So if this game's going to be good, it's going to have to rely on like expansions and downloadable content and modders. Okay, let me tell you why I love the Bethesda games that I love. Okay, I don't care if I have to do the same thing over and over and over again. I will replay the out of those games because I love them and the way they made me feel, and I love the characters, and I got so attached to them. You know how many times I keep saying Fallout New Vegas, but that's Obsidian, but still, how many times I've played like the Fallout games? Oh God, probably like 6, 7 times. I played Skyrim like 4 times through, 5 times, 6 times. Because I want to keep going back because I miss the world. Do you miss the universe of Starfield, Rob? Do you ever wake up, think about it, and miss it and want to go back?
I think about it in my nightmares and I'm glad I've escaped. But other than that, you mean a world, or do you mean a couple hallways that look identical? Some low tech gray steel hallways with a splash of orange wires kind of snaking in the darkness over and over and over again. Do I miss that? No. I mean, there's some cool planets that, to be fair, that you can enjoy for a couple days with nothing on them. But ... after they look in the mirror, I put 106, but I haven't played in 2 months because, of course, you'll run out of stuff to do eventually. Like, come on, like you can't expect the game to satisfy your curiosity and enjoyment forever. Eventually, you're gonna not like to play the game anymore, right? Right.
Yeah. Well, and after 160 hours, that's not even that much.
Nope.
That is not much at all. I want to play a game for like, I don't know, at least 700 hours. I want to like give my life to this game. I want a game to become my life.
But it's not a
160
live service
hours is
game, so it shouldn't.
oh, whatever. 160 hours is nothing.
The key moments to watch will be when Bethesda releases its first truly big content update. That could be Starfield's already announced expansion, Shattered Space. But we could also see smaller ones before then, like additional shipbuilding parts or the ability to make space stations. Why hasn't that happened yet? And look at the hope. Well, maybe there'll be like little ones that come out to make the game better. Where are they? Like, you could have done that already because you're losing players. That should be coming out. And also, yes, the player count will jump temporarily when there's a big DLC, but the DLC is based on the current engine with presumably the current writers and architects of the game, in which case it'll just be another bowl of steaming poo. I want a second helping. Oh, that crap sandwich was so good. Give me another, my good man.
Oh, hey, at least you can eat that crap sandwich off the table as soon as you see it. You don't got to put it in your inventory and get it later. I mean,
oh, this one had a cherry on top.
Hey, that was my sandwich.
And then in 2024, we will have the debut of official mod support for Starfield, the thing that has helped Skyrim live on all these years. And with Starfield's 1,000 planets, it's easy to imagine what players may come up with to extend the life of the game indefinitely. Marie, you must got something here. You must got something.
well, I do, because when I play Skyrim over and over, I don't add any mods to it. I just play the game. I think I've added a couple like texture packs and like something to do, and like a thunderstorm pack. I haven't added anything else like big because I'm just like, I love it in this pure state. And like, yeah, maybe to make it look a little bit nicer would be nice. Give me a thunderstorm in this world that I love to live in, but I don't add anything too crazy because I loved it. It's in its natural state.
Yeah, you love vanilla Skyrim.
Yeah,
And
I do.
here's the thing, mods didn't come out till way later on consoles.
Mm-hmm. Right?
So it's saying hopefully the game will get better, with the DLC. And don't forget, other people will make it better for free labor. And I hope that maybe they will fix the game or add cool things like space stations, but that's a fool's hope. Listen to yourself. It's okay. Come to the dark side. Let it go. Take a deep breath, lie down, snuggle with the pillow, and just let it go. I'm certainly never going to make the argument Starfield would ever become a Skyrim. Nothing is a Skyrim, really. But this narrative that the game is failing due to falling players over time, or it's ultimately a failure for Microsoft, is misguided. Yes, I do think they hoped it reviewed better and was not eclipsed by half a dozen high-rated games this year. But in terms of actual players, I think it definitely hit those goals.
How? Weren't we
How
just
is-
talking this whole time about why the players are plummeting?
It's admitting that the players have dropped and then just said, it's okay. I think they think this. Like, not only are you saying this is fine, but I do think they hoped it reviewed better. It's almost like they intended this, Marie. It's okay. They hit their goals. They got what they wanted, despite what Todd said.
No, but the thing that really gets me is, and it was not eclipsed by half a dozen higher rated games, which means better games. Why are they rated higher? Why are they played more? Because they're better. That's why this game has been eclipsed. Okay, I like the space reference, but you know what I mean? It's like, that's why.
Cope can't even say better games.
No.
Higher rated is just, well,
Right.
subjectively better.
That's exactly why they worded it that way. That's why they worded it like that.
Yeah, I think you're right. And also, taken out of the article, this sentence almost would sound sarcastic. Yes, I do think they hoped it reviewed better and was not eclipsed by half a dozen higher rated games this year. But in terms of actual players, I think it hit the mark. Like, it almost sounds snarky. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I think that a game hit the mark, even though it's a bad game and people are playing other games and, there's no players. But I think they pulled it off.
What goals did it hit? Nothing that they promised. Nothing they promised.
I don't know what the goals that what goals are you talking about?
Yeah, it definitely hit those goals.
Okay, in this, nothing is a Skyrim, really. How about Baldur's Gate? That might be the next Skyrim. Yeah. Also, you should be trying to be the next Skyrim or better.
Yes,
I'm certainly never going to make the argument Starfield will ever become a Skyrim. Yeah, because you can't. But Toddy sure wanted it to be.
We are open to video game. We have our love for our video games. That'll always be our favorites. But we want better and we're open to better. I didn't go into Starfield and think, well, this will never be like Skyrim anyway. I was thinking, I hope it gives me the same feeling that Skyrim did. I hope that I get that same experience and joy and like the fun memories and everything that Skyrim did. I wanted to make me feel that way. And like what Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, now even Fallout 4 in comparison to Starfield. Like, I want to feel, I want that same feeling. And Starfield didn't give me any feelings. No feelings.
I felt nothing. All right, here we go. Look who it is. Cope Sassy at Forbes. What are they going to say now? Starfield continues to be a heated topic between its defenders and detractors, but what I didn't realize was that Bethesda was also going to bat for the game somewhat covertly, trying to change minds one hater at a time. Oh, go Marie, go. Oh my God. Go.
First of all, there's that italicized also again that this guy loves to do. It's like, how many times can I italicize the word also? That sounds cheeky.
Yeah, no, that's great. This is, I think, the next day. So the article we just read was yesterday, and I think this is today, this morning, November 28th. Now, here's what's great with this. Trying to change minds one hater at a time.
Okay, so if you don't like something and that's your opinion, you are a hater and your mind can be changed, by the way. And it should be, because you are not allowed your own opinion, by the way. I'm glad this person likes Starfield and that they got something out of it. But you know what? Some people didn't, and that's okay too.
That's okay. Coping is, you can do that. I've just been made aware of the fact that ever since launch, Bethesda developers are going on Steam and responding to individual negative reviews about Starfield with counter arguments or suggestions for how to get people to like it. You can't negotiate desires. Why did you break up with me? I want you back. Doesn't work. I love this next part. This isn't quite as thoughtful as it sounds, as looking through these, which are still being posted as of this week, there are really just a few copy paste templates that are being used to address different stated problems with the game. Copy and paste by Bethesda? It's not like they copied and pasted most of the content on the planets. Here's part of what Bethesda says if a user says the game is boring with empty planets, telling them outright, that's not boring. Were astronauts bored on the moon? We appreciate you taking the time to provide your review and sorry to hear that you did not enjoy your time in Starfield. If you feel that things are getting boring, there is so much more to do than just the main mission. Like what? Run?
But also, like, we don't know that going into a Bethesda like our action RPG game. We don't know that there's side quests and things you can do and like the shipbuilding. Like, we don't know that. Like, you're just
Yeah.
talking to us like we're idiots. Like, well, you're just doing the main mission, which is boring. So
You
we
mean there are other missions?
oh, the reason why you find it boring is because you're only playing the main mission, which is them admitting that the main mission is boring.
I've actually read this review directly on Steam, but check this out. Look at this weirdness. Some of Starfield's planets are meant to be empty by design, but that's not boring. Who are you to tell me that? This crap salad is meant to taste like crap by design. That's not crappy. When the astronauts went to the moon, there was nothing there. They certainly weren't bored. Because they're on the moon, the first people ever to be on another astral body that we've been looking up to and thinking was a god for millennia. And finally, we've made it to the moon, a feat of human ingenuity and engineering, the vastness of space, the reality of it. That's why it wasn't boring. What was it? Something like grand desolation, it was described as.
Yeah, so they say. So
Oh,
they say.
yeah. The moon landing was faked to freak out the Soviets. Let's talk about flat Earth. The intention of Starfield's exploration is to evoke a feeling of smallness in players and make you feel overwhelmed. That's just a weird way to say it. Like, why not make you feel in awe? There we go.
Yeah, yeah.
Sublime in the Burkean sense.
But you know what probably would get boring to the astronauts is if they went to like a whole bunch of moons and planets and they all looked exactly the same. They'd be like, oh, another empty barren moon. Why are we still going here? Why are we still taking pictures of this? It's the same in this. Oh, this is the same one here.
It's like, wasn't that crater on the other moon in that other galaxy the same copy and pasted crater?
To evoke feeling of smallness in players and make you feel overwhelmed. When I play a game, I don't want to feel smallness. I want to feel part of something. And I want to feel like a piece or a cog in a bigger machine that I have control over and I can manipulate to make it what I want to be. Like that's a video game. I don't want to feel small and overwhelmed. I want to be immersed and like I'm making a difference and doing something in this game that's going to have an outcome that I want to see, or I'm going to help something, or I'm going to, something like that. I don't want to feel small and overwhelmed and like a bored astronaut. Like I don't well, sorry, we're not all astronauts, Bethesda, and then maybe that's why we got bored. My God.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, you should have done better in school and be a real astronaut.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's more like you should feel small, yet immersed in the vast, wonderful tapestry of the greatness of the galaxy.
Yeah. I mean, it's not rocket science, Bethesda.
But you You can continue to explore and find worlds that do have resources you need or hidden outposts to look through. No, they're copy and pasted, and it's like finding resources. Let's look at some plants and a couple boring animals. If you complain about its story or that it's not as good as past Bethesda games, you get this. We are sorry to hear that you did not enjoy your time in Starfield. Our team is constantly working to ensure that Starfield is fun and polished experience. You can eat off a table now, pressing a button.
Hey, that was my sandwich.
See that sandwich? Go get it. It's yours. No need to put it in your inventory. You won't get over encumbered with these sandwiches anymore.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh man, I have too many hot dogs. I can't walk anymore. This is a crazy response because they're not working on it. You can take time to explore various planets for resources and items. You can also break the law by smuggling and selling contraband. Build your own outposts and starships and customize them to your enjoyment, exploration, and role-playing. There are many things to do and explore. I wonder if that really is a typo in it. Break the law means that the entire universe automatically knows you're a bad guy. And smuggling is like you don't smuggle. You find a case of something and then bring it to the wolf's den and sell it. That's it. You don't even break the law. You actually don't break the law. It's just sort of this kind of shady place. And the Vanguard or Freestar Rangers sort of turn a blind eye knowing that what's going on. It's not really breaking the law. It's that kind of gray zone. There's so many layers to Starfield that you will find things you've never knew were possible after playing for hundreds of hours. Well, according to Cope Tassi, they were done by then. Even after completing the main story, your adventure doesn't end. You can continue on to New Game Plus to keep exploring the same thing and all that is out there. We are still actively working on this game and will be for a long time yet to come. I haven't seen that.
Well, and it's also like you're working on it for so long already. Like, get good.
My favorite one I've seen is that 4 days ago, someone just said, go buy Cyberpunk instead. And we're hit with the above response. Bethesda also frequently suggests going to the game's Discord to talk with other players about things to do. The story is as generic as it gets, and the gameplay gets boring. I wish there was a reason to even bother exploring planets and build outposts. Everything is fun until you do it once. Then it's all a repeating, soulless chore. What did Bethesda say? Thank you for taking time to leave a review for Starfield. You can fly, you can shoot, you can mine, you can loot. Oh my God, they made a poem.
It's a rap. This spitting hot fire, man. They're just spitting lyrics. There's
yeah. Oh my God. Starfield is an RPG with hundreds of hours of quests to complete and characters to meet. Oh, thank you for telling me what an RPG is. Most quests will also vary on your character's skills and decisions, massively changing the outcome of your playthrough. Try creating different characters and backgrounds and characteristics that clash or are oppositive of your previous character. I went to college. You will feel like you are playing a totally different game. Oh my God. The gaslighting. Put points in different skills from a character you've previously created, and you are now faced with completely different decisions to make and difficulties to encounter. It's not true. Well, as I said, I'm a big Starfield defender. I'll say that this is not the way to do it, to essentially copy and paste marketing text onto a bunch of negative reviews instead of responding in a meaningful way. Yeah, you are right. We agree on something. If you're not going to have someone write something thoughtful instead of just spamming templates, I don't think you should be doing this at all. What negative reviewer is going to read one of these and be like, oh, I see now, I'm heading back in? It's pretty weird. Anyway, if you do want to read an actual defense of Starfield and why I like it, you can check out my review here.
The fact that one of the templates that they're using is one that said astronauts weren't bored on the moon is hilarious to me. Like, that is hilarious that is the template that, because then it's like, oh, you're bored in this game. Do you think astronauts were bored on the moon? Like, it's like so condescending. If you're
It
using a
is.
template, it should be something a little more professional sounding, I would think, because that just sounds like someone angry behind a keyboard. The fact that they're agreeing to use that as a template to me, it's just hilarious.
It's ridiculous. I know.
Wow, those articles are funny to me because they didn't really provide any substance at all. It's just like people have their opinion on this game. Well, this is my opinion and why it's good. It's like what you're saying isn't like convincing me. I'm not like, oh, you know what? Maybe I should go give it another try. No, what I feel was real for me. And you're trying to convince me otherwise and basically say like I'm a hater. And it's like I'm not an astronaut. So I don't get it. And it's like, no, it just didn't make me feel the way I wanted it to make me feel, and it didn't feel the way it promised that it would make me feel. So that's why I never have gone back.
The fact is, the player count is dropping. It is intended to be a long game that we play for years to come. I mean, that's just it is what it is, as they say.
We want to know what you guys think. And whatever you think is cool with us. But just as long as you don't type in the comments the word also in italics, we're cool. We want to know what you guys think. How long did you play Starfield for? And also, how long did you play Starfield in comparison to other RPG or action adventure games? Like, I want to know like the comparison because that will say a lot about what you actually truly feel about it, aside from just defending it because you want to defend a Bethesda game. So if you can say I spent 160, but I spent 160 hours, but my Skyrim hours were like 1200, then it's like, did you actually really enjoy Starfield? Or did you just play it through, got it over with, and was like, it's actually pretty good. Like, there's lots to do, and it was fine, and I felt immersed, and it was great. And, planets are supposed to be barren, and I'm not bored. I'm an astronaut. I want to know.
Also, I want to know, are you an astronaut? And were
Yeah.
you bored on the moon or not?
Also, are you an astronaut? And were you bored playing Starfield? Because I want to know what was more boring. Obviously, was it the moon? Was it the set of the moon? Or was it Starfield? Kidding.
That will be the definitive answer. And
Yeah.
watch Bethesda responds to the astronaut. Thank you for posting the review. We're sorry to hear that you thought the moon was better than Starfield. However, did the moon have cut and pasted facilities? Did you steal contraband from the moon?
Do you have any last words about Starfield after you finish the game and anything you want to say about it? You want to close this chapter on Starfield?
What game?
Yeah, I don't know. What were we talking about?
What were we
I don't
talking
remember.
about?
Thank you for watching this episode of Relatively Geeking with my brother Rob, and we geeked out about Starfield and our true feelings about it. You can find more of our content on our YouTube channel, Not a Strong Start. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Not a Strong Start. You can listen to us anywhere you listen to your podcasts, and you can like and subscribe and share and comment. Comment even if you don't agree. We just love the comments. We love reading it. I like each and every one of them just because I love when people share their thoughts. Do it. You can follow me on Instagram at Marie Plays It All, and never stop playing unless you really aren't feeling something. And you know what? If you are promised to feel something and you don't, you have every right to stop playing. You know what you can stop doing? Writing also in italics.
Hey, that was my sandwich.
We have to make faces for the thumbnail. So I'm gonna put a in there.